Hello folks, today we're just going to talk about the mods I've made in the past. I've got the videos of my mods playlist up, which is available if you click on playlist on my channel page, and it just goes through all the mods I've made over the years. But remember, I didn't start making mods in 2006. I started making mods in 1980. I had a VIC-20, I pressed the run stop, it stops the game from running, and I've been modding ever since. So that's how it started. But now we're here. So let's have a look at this, shall we? Right now, these are all mods I've made. Some of them you heard of, some of them you haven't. Some of them you can get, some of them you can't. The NCR mod is probably one of my more famous Fallout New Vegas mods. People love that mod to bits. If you haven't tried that one, go and grab it. I think I put it on ModDB. Nanobyte Ghost is the name, remember. Anyhow, Code of Steel, that was basically a Brotherhood of Steel mod for New Vegas. Allows you to join the faction. Because I'm very keen on not breaking things and not becoming a conflict fest, I made my own, Brotherhood of Steel faction. Right, so it didn't interfere with the plotline in any way. It was quite good. It never really got finished though. Anyhow, Foundation mod. This was an epic mod of mine from the Fallout 3 days.
We want you to go to Sin City and deal with the raiders gathering there. When you're ready, tell me what forces you want to take with you, and I will have them meet you in Sin City.
That was one of my better mods. That was the moment I discovered the nav mesh bug. Because every time you left an area, the nav mesh behind you would break and then you'd come back in. I later on in Skyrim, I think it was, made a video showing the nav mesh bug in action. I didn't know then exactly how it would happen, I just knew it happened. It was not until Skyrim I figured it out and I made a video and it went viral around the community and then it got fixed. But I got moderated to hell on Bethesda's site from talking about that bug at the time. It broke that mod, one of my best mods for Fallout, just became unusable because of it. And that was Fallout 3. The same issue was still in Fallout New Vegas and it was still in Skyrim until they fixed it. So 3 games it went on without them fixing it. But that was when I discovered it. Anyhow, Sim City, it was a city I made for Fallout 3. And it was designed to be an area you could do multiple missions in without ever running out of ideas. So you get to it because it's hidden in an area surrounded by wreckage. So you have to go through an old building to get there. And there we go. Remember, these videos are quite old. That was Sin City, the Sin City mission from Foundation. I quite like that mod. Epic battles. You ever wonder how I got away with massive battles in my mods? Take a guess. It started with me experimenting with how many models the game could cope with, and I started in Fallout 3. Let's just skip to the end. Right, watch. Frame rate on this drops off quite sharply because my system could barely handle it. I love that one, it's absolutely epic. Anyhow, you don't get to be good at something without experimenting, and I experimented, which eventually led, if I can find it, led to this one. Good mod. It was supposed to be the Stormcloak's version of Return to Helgen.
Let's start acting like gods.
Thing is though, it corrupted the beginning of the intro to Skyrim, so I pulled the mod in the end. So this is a battle between the Stormcloak ship and I believe Falmor's ship. So you're there to intercept them. So it's sea battles, basically. And there's the Falmor attacking Windhelm. You see? a result of all those fights and battles and stuff I did, you know, the really big battles, this is how it panned out in the game. I did learn though in Skyrim, if you go over a certain limit, NPCs just stand still. And when one dies, another one will start moving at that point. So there was a hard-coded limit. The game, or the engine, did learn to handle these battles better without just crippling the frame rate. Skyrim was the best one yet for that. Anyway, as you can see, the plot for that was quite interesting and involved. It is the Stormcloak Storyland could have easily matched Return to Helgen from a mod perspective. And it's one of the mods I really wish... I mean, if it wasn't for the mod corruption, I would have just carried on adding to it. But because it corrupted the beginning of the game, and it doesn't even edit the beginning of the game, so there's no reason why it should have corrupted it. Because it did, I had to pull it. But that would have been a really good mod. But that happens. It happens sometimes. So let's go down. And here's some Kvatch Rising parts 1 to 5, well, 1 to 6. Right? Now, if you actually look at all of these, one after the other, this is how I made my Kvatch Rising City mod in, I think it was 6 weeks. Each one of them videos was taken, I think it's 6 weeks. It says each one of them videos was made a week apart. Right, so you start out with the first week where the city basic layout is done, like this. But now this is the second week. Now, what you might not know about Kvatch Rising is it had multiple eras or years. Depending on where you were in the plot line, it would either be a burning wreck or fully restored or anything in between. Or you could choose, I want it to be a burning wreck, I want it to be nature reclaimed it, or I want it to be fully functional. I had what they call a pro-choice campaigner in the camp that allowed you to pick that option and just skip to that version of Kvatch you wanted. You see how it's rebuilding there.
Option that allows you to choose which Kvatch you want to. The original Kvatch was
there you go. This is another way. This is nearly complete now. That's the arena.
I will be making my own quest for this. I won't be.
Kvatch Rising is probably the best Kvatch mod for Oblivion, bar none. It's extremely lore friendly. Well, lore friendly. It delves into the lore and uses the lore greatly. It has the features the players ask for a lot, like arenas. It rebuilds Kvatch almost faithfully, but remember, no city that was destroyed ever got rebuilt exactly the same way in real life. Not ever. But it is the most faithful to the lore Kvatch mod ever made for that game. And anybody that wants to say I'm wrong, prove it. You prove it. Show me the mod that beats that for lore. This is a preview for the arena itself.
Build an arena, which is basically a temple of death, right after so much destruction, upset a lot of people. But once account explained it was to host trials of combat where Mythic Dawn traitors would fight for their lives, many had a change of heart, but only on one condition. Those traitors should stand little or no chance of ever walking out of this arena alive. So the Count called upon the heroes of Tamriel to come to Kvatch and help dispense justice in this arena.
There you go. I was actually against arenas, to be honest. I wasn't keen on arenas in mods.
Traitors kept undermining their attempts to defend themselves against the Daedra. By the time they discovered this, thousands had died. But discover it they did. And one of those responsible for the death stands before you today, ready to answer for his crimes.
This quest here, the quest for the Elder Council, that in a sense is a prequel to Return to Helgen. This is Arenthia.
Hi! What can I do for you?
I heard they are using the new Kvatch arena for the trial and execution of the traitors they captured at the end of the Oblivion Crisis.
That's a link up to Kvatch Rising. I did that a lot in Oblivion. My mods gelled together like that in ways that everybody said was impossible. Right, anyhow. Do you want to see what the Wild Hunt looks like?
The lights, you'll be transported to an area below Arenthia where the Duke is hiding. Fight your way to the Duke and kill him. Once he's dead, his army will be without a leader and harmless. Unfortunately, there are several areas below the city where the Duke may be, so you must search them all. Good luck.
This is a link up to a storyline that they were going to use in Oblivion but didn't, to do with I think it's I can't remember now, it's a long time ago, but it was a Duke, right? There was supposed to be a Duke of Clovia and a Duke of the other side, the Nibonir. You eventually become to rise up to the title of Duke of Clovia, so he's your opposite number, and here's you taking him out. And this is the Wild Hunt. So they've all turned into their animal selves, and now they're going in there. And you enter there and start the fight with the Daedra and this Duke. There you go. Anyhow, that was quite a good story. Anyhow, Necromancers upgrades. This Necromancers one here, it might sound like an individual mod, but it's not. It's actually 3 mods. It's Kvatch Aftermath, Kvatch Rising, and the CUO, and various city mods that had Necromancers in them. And I made one video about all of them, because my mods worked together in Oblivion days. So you put one, it all meshed together as one mod. And so I didn't see the point in making individual videos about it. Coral, yeah, I got a bit silly in this one.
The Engineering Guild presents CUO Coral version 1. Coral has been taken over by giant mutant chickens.
It
The
hadn't.
guards are being eaten alive by 60-foot-high roosters.
They were.
Have you got the balls to take these on and save the day? Oh, that's
I made a lot of videos at that point. I just wanted to make it a bit different.
Chickens are an army of chickens from the gates of hell, spewing out into Coral, pecking everything to death and nibbling on your gonads for breakfast. Sorry, but this video is getting far too silly now. Time for something.
And I'm not going to show you the Coral, CUO Coral. If you want it, you can get the thing. The Stormcrown mod teaser. I'm going to play you a bit of this, but remember the CUO Coral video, because this one, the Stormcrown mod is for Skyrim, the CUO Coral is for Oblivion, and what you're seeing here is a guy's grandson. This is a flashback. Anyhow, let's modern day. Try and get some.
One of my ancestors fled Coral after an incident involving a mage and a chicken. Before that, he ran the Coral Mining Company. Yes, it sounds kind of odd, I admit, but the court mage at the time was running all kinds of dangerous experiments. One of them went wrong, and half my ancestors' men got badly wounded. It nearly ruined the family business.
I should tell you, there's no giant chickens in Coral. That was a joke. Although I might have added a few quests to kill the chickens. But there's no giant chickens.
Well, the mage summoned a few hundred angry chickens into the heart of Coral. Things were so scared they attacked everything that moved. Okay, laugh. I've heard all the chicken jokes before. All my family have. 200 years worth. Just do not start with the chicken nugget jokes. My ancestor was called Charlie Lowry, and he decided to pay the mage back by training some roosters to fight. Then he let them loose in the mage's tower in Coral and locked the mage in. What happened next was not pretty. Have you ever seen a man pecked to death by a flock of angry roosters? Oh, what an original joke. Ha ha. Poultry crime. Never heard that one before. Charlie opened some mines here in Skyrim and started again. He did quite well for himself, except for the nickname he earned. I hate telling this part. Charlie was accused of roostercide. The mask made were local chickens and roosters, tapping out, but nobody could prove it. Charlie always maintained it was pure coincidence that wherever he went, all the chickens and roosters disappeared.
Right, we believe that, don't we?
They called him Charlie Chickenbane Lowry because of that. I joined the Legion early on. The Penitus Oculatus handpicked me for duty as an agent just as the war with the Falmer started.
Anyhow, have you guessed what mod that is? What mod that became? That one, the Stormcrown mod, was a great name, but it didn't really say what the mod was going to be about better than the name I eventually gave it. So we see, this is the mod the Stormcrown mod was eventually released as. Return to Helgen. Released in 4 parts. First part was just patrolling. Second part was Penitus Oculatus quests. Third part was when you were fighting for survival, after declaring independence. And the last part was becoming emperor. Each part was released together, just adding to the original mod, always backwards compatible, until it was all complete.
General Lightheart seems to believe opening up a new front in Valenwood will help in the final conquest of Colovia. So we're heading for Renfrew, Your Majesty.
Remember Renfrew? The Wild Hunt?
More than a match for a few elves.
There you go. That's the plotline for Return to Helgen. The NCR mod, as I've said before, is a very popular mod. It has missions, all kinds of stuff, and this is another benefactor of all these big battles that I did tests for. If you need any tips on my mods, all you have to do is look at the videos.
Howdy.
It's my mate Roger.
Okay. The transfer to the NCR Army approved. Here's your resupply slip. Take it to the supply officer to get your kit.
So once you join the NCR, you get to join the units. The units depend on your skill level in certain areas, gun skills and things like that. If you've got the right skill set, the option to join a unit that needs them skills becomes available.
Anything to report, Marshal?
There's a Marshal job.
Good work. I'll cross him off our wanted list.
Marshals are basically hunt down convicts. What you might not realise is convicts in this were all named after actual Wild West bandits. Anyway, let's go down again, shall we? There's a House Redrun mod. That became the Solitude mod, or Solstein mod. One of the more famous elements of the Solstein mod is the Mogratong Guild feature, where you can join the Mogratong if you have the right skills. Because the Solstein mod, it was really big on letting you join factions like the Red Run Guard if your skills matched. So if you had the right skills, you had the option to join. If you didn't have the option to join. Here's an interesting video here, right? Serial Upgrade 01, right? This is what it looked like when I combined all of my mods together. Let's turn that down a bit. This is the council being summoned in the White Gold Tower in Cyrodiil. It's Imperial City. I made a lot of changes to this. Interestingly though, somebody thought the corridor, the door in that corridor was locked by me. So they picked it and broke the Thieves Guild quest and then blamed me for it. And I said, no, that the door isn't edited. You broke the level yourself the second you thought you needed to break into that room. I never use quest locations if I can help it because it causes conflicts. That room there you just seen, by the way, is the room I used for the I can't remember his name now. The one the guy became emperor and his son or something is the one in Skyrim that he kills, part of that Brotherhood. And there's Renfrew again. Renfrew, by the way, is added by the Elder Council mod. Elder Council mod is a massive mod. It was actually made as a thank you to my mod fans for their support when I started getting attacked by certain patch makers and tool makers in the Oblivion community. So I made this just to thank them. And it's one of my biggest mods I've ever made. It's also one of the best mods for Oblivion, I think. Well worth looking at. If you don't have the Elder Scrolls mod installed when you're playing Oblivion, get it. It's on. It's part of my mod download thing on ModDB. It's actually the area where the Wild Hunt takes place. That's part of the Elder Council mod. There's loads of things. Anyway, here's Kvatch. Remember, these mods are quite old. And that's Kvatch Aftermath you're looking at there, by the way. Kvatch Rising, I think, was the better one, but Kvatch Aftermath had the benefit of being able to use Toasty Sear's shared mod to actually customise every character, every NPC in the place. Origin of the Mages Guild, now that's one, right? After I made Kvatch Aftermath, not Kvatch, yeah, Kvatch Aftermath, I wasn't interested in Elder Scrolls lore at the time. I got a lot of people talking to me about lore, game lore. And now I should make my Kvatch mod more lore friendly, because Kvatch Rebuilt, I think it was supposed to be a lore mod. I found out later it was just another mod, right? Another Kvatch mod, but it had an arena. And when I started looking into the lore, and I realised most of the complaints against me came from people that didn't know any lore. They just wanted to be twats, wanted to insult, mod makers. But I went ahead and learnt the lore. And this is where it started with Oblivion. Well, in Oblivion with Origin of the Mages Guild, that was my first lore mod. Right? It was a result of pressure put on me by people to have me make lore mods. And to be honest, they were right. Because being true to the law allowed me to mesh my mods together and do much better. Kvatch Return to Helgen wouldn't exist, for instance, without that pressure, and it all started with Origin of the Mages Guild. And this is based on the book Origin of the Mages Guild. So it's a lore mod. I actually did a lot of research, and I found out that there's a lot of different aspects to the lore, and you never know it all. It can always change, but it always boils down to humans versus elves.
Well met.
You have trainers as well, of course. But this was a big mod. Big mod. It's well worth it anyway, that. I usually produce a little video just to see what the interest is in something, and then make it if the interest is there. So some of the things he never got made, others did. The Tilvani Hall, now that was about the refugees from Morrowind settling in Windhelm. It's actually quite a popular mod, actually. You get quests and stuff again. But it's actually a small hall which I squeezed into a corner of Windhelm so not to interfere with anything else. And you go in there and you talk to some of the Telvanni mages that escaped. There you go, this is Telvanni Hall.
They're happy to let me do their dirty work, providing they can continue their research in peace. Some of them have an odd idea of how well we get along with the local Argonians. Truth is, we don't most days. I settle things and keep it quiet.
See that there? That links into the Angonian invasion of Morrowind, or basically the Dark Elves war with them. And then your Dark Lord Grimoire, that's basically adds more spells to the game. It takes all the spells in the game, converts them. It doesn't edit them directly. It's compatible, so it doesn't edit them directly. But it takes all the spells in the game, separates them into groups like necromancers, whatever. If you get certain combinations, you can then summon Dwemer creatures. You know, the metal things, like spiders and stuff, and spheres, depending on which combination of skill sets you have and whether you do a certain quest or not. And what you do is you cast a spell and you gain experience from casting a spell. When your experience race gets to a certain level, if you've got the right number of points in, say, conjuration, say, right, you unlock all the spells based on your experience and your level. So instead of buying spell books, you learn them naturally as you cast spells. And this had, I think this one adds, it edits Solstheim, adds a Sylvanas settlement there. It adds a Necromancer Guild, it adds a Mages Guild. It's an independent one, it's not, because that's disbanded now. And a few other things. So you can join various guilds. You don't have to go to Winterhold anymore. Yeah, that was quite a good one, that was. Got a few bugs in it though, but nothing serious. But anyway, you can see there's loads of mods. As for recommendations, definitely try out the NCR mod for Fallout New Vegas. That's a very popular one of mine on ModDB. Definitely try out Kvatch Rising, which is also ModDB inside my Oblivion mod pack. Don't run that alongside Kvatch Aftermath. Pick one or the other, and if you want to swap between the two, read the docs on how to do it, because you need to type something into the command line to reset everything. And the Elder Council, a must. You install that, play through Oblivion, get to the end of the plot, that plot will kick in, and you'll see the, what's called the prequel to Return to Helgen, the prequel story to Return to Helgen in that mod there. Origin of the Mages Guild, that's a must. If you like being a mage, you must have that installed. CUO Corals and CUO Leyawind, these basically make the cities a bit more how the devs intended until time ran out and they had to just release the game. But these were made to show people how you could edit a city without breaking every quest or every mod in the game. CUO Breville was really good. Right? I really nailed it. I really made it feel dark and gloomy. I was making that when Dio died, so that mod there has a little tribute to Dio in it. Foundation mod, that one doesn't work. It was affected by the nav mesh bug early on. Then it would have been Fallout 3, Fallout New Vegas and Skyrim were all affected by it. I was reporting it throughout, I got moderated throughout for reporting it, and eventually I made a video about the nav mesh in Skyrim, and it went viral and Bethesda fixed it. But that mod there was one of the mods that suffered badly from it and therefore became unusable. Return to Helgen, of course. Remember, Elder Council and Return to Helgen. The Elder Council is a pre-sequel to... actually, it's not a pre-sequel, it's the original. It leads up to Return to Helgen. The Red Run mod, that's basically Solstheim mod. Solstheim is a very good mod. I haven't seen the video for it. Oh, it is. The Mogratong feature is in Solstheim. It's right there. It's a really, really good mod. It's one of my favourite mods, one of my favourite DLCs by Bethesda. But if you want to play Mogratong, that's where you play it, right there. You've got to have... He's in the Wretched Netch. If you've got the right skills, he'll take you on. But that there, that's where you go, right? Now you should join the Red Run Guard as well and do missions for them. Skyrim Fighters Guild, that's had a bit of a rocky history, but that I enjoyed making that mod. I was trying to think of how you make a Fighters Guild mod interesting, and I thought it all boiled down to go there, kill this, and I wasn't happy with that. But I think I managed to pull it off with that. I finally managed to make the Fighters Guild an interesting faction. By linking it to lore and short stories, I managed to make each mission mean something. And it's there. I recently fixed it, in the last 6 months or whatever, and re-released it. So now it's just missing one mission that was that was completely broke by various patches, but it's there. Anyway, I'll leave it there. Hope you enjoyed this look at my videos, and I'll see you in the next one.